Good morning. This is Pierre Laguerre here, your daily motivator, always here to challenge, inspire, and motivate you. So today I'm going to talk to you about the $1 trillion platform. And of course, this week I've been talking to you about the 4 giants when it comes to the retail industry, consumer electronics, of course, computer software and all. But all these giants are found online. And what they've allowed us entrepreneurs to do is to build our businesses and leverage their platforms so that we can put our products and services right on top of theirs. Ergo, pulling in their consumers towards our products, getting more eyeballs, like I spoke about Amazon yesterday, on their platform, and really towards our products. So today on episode 437, I intend to do the same thing I did for Amazon yesterday, but this time it's the $1 trillion giant, the first one to ever hit $1 trillion in market cap in August 2018. Can you guess which company that is? They were formed back in April 1976. So this is, of course, an older giant. They've been in the computer industry when they started out of Cupertino, California. I think you know who I'm talking about. It's Apple, of course. Apple has seen its fair share of issues as a company, from CEOs leaving, coming back, and all these other things that have happened over the years. But as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, as somebody who's building their online business in today's world, how can you leverage this platform? And I'm here to not only share with you a little bit of history about Apple, but most importantly, what sets them apart. How come so many people are fans of this platform? And a lot of it has to do with how they service their customers, how they kept their products simple, right? So things like even the managers, when they come to work, they all have to go to these stores nowadays to have firsthand contact with the customer, and that's very important. So let's go a little deeper and let's talk about the history. Apple, of course, has focused on consumer electronics, computer software, and online services. In terms of computer software, we know back in 76 and in the 80s, they sold computers and, of course, had their own software. But eventually, they shifted their focus. The Macintosh Classic was definitely the computer that, we used in college, dating myself now back to the late 80s, early 90s. But you know what? Desktop publishing set Apple apart, especially in the business world, with programs like Aldus PageMaker, right? And again, dating myself, you may be saying, what is PageMaker? It was one of the first desktop publishing software that Apple put out there with their Mac and their LaserWriter. And that combination gave them a quick advantage in the market. But let's go down to history as far as IPOs. Apple IPO'd in 1980. And what happened then, December 12, 1980, when this computer company, because they were known as Apple Computers, later renamed by Steve Jobs as Apple Inc., to, of course, become the umbrella over all 3 areas of computer software, consumer electronics, and online services. But in 1980, that first day, when they traded, they created 300 millionaires. How would you like to have worked for Apple back then? Or how would you like to have worked for any company where on the day the company goes IPO, you become a millionaire? And of course, at the end of that day, Apple had a market cap of $1.77 billion. They were one of the largest IPOs since Ford Motor Company went public in 1956. Wow. But let's talk about some things that sets them apart. 2001, they came to market with the iPod. Everybody remembers the iPod. That was the simplest media player for music, song player. What was it? The moniker was 1,000 songs in your pocket. But they always had a big vision. Think Different back in 1984, that commercial that aired in the Super Bowl, that set Apple apart. So we know that this company has always had a different vision, and vision here is important. As you're building your own business, what is the vision that you have, and what is it that you want to put out there for your consumers? your customers, those that are coming to becoming your clients. So one of the things I love about this company is that of all the products they've created, including the iPod, they never created something unless it was something that those creating it would actually use. So they eat their own dog food. That's absolutely important. But then you go down from 2001, by 2003, iTunes came to the market with Apple. And with iTunes in the mix, guess what happened? Right then and there, what we've got is the world's largest music retailer. This is important to understand. In your business, who, or more importantly, what do you want to be known as? What is the place that you want to take? Remember yesterday I talked to you about Amazon being sued by Barnes & Noble because they claimed when they started to be the world's largest bookseller. And of course now they are larger than Barnes & Noble's. But point is, Apple went to market and they entered this consumer electronics market with music. And then of course, the iPhone. Who could forget the iPhone? And the key thing about the iPhone is its simplicity. Let's understand that the iPhone brought simplicity, and Apple, with one line of phone, became the world's third largest manufacturer of phones. They have their own software, and all the different carriers, the four major ones, go to Apple. First company to actually do that. So they are very peculiar, but really what they understand is their connection with their customers. So for you as a business owner, how do you set yourself apart? How do you manage that connection that you have with your customers? What is it that you're doing to make your customers feel the love? See, because Apple has great customer service. You walk into any of their stores, they don't ask you, how can we help you? They come out and say, what would you like to do today? They are engaging you. And of course, that's another key part. They went into the market and they opened these stores. All these stores started bringing more consumers in, and they could face the consumer and talk to the consumer and understand what their needs were. So one of the key things I want to share with you here is, how do you leverage this platform? What products can you put on this platform? Well, of course, there's iTunes. If you've written music, you need to get it up there. If you've got a podcast, like I have this podcast, you may be downloading it right now from iTunes. You need to leverage iTunes. But beyond iTunes, what about the Apple App Store? You would think it's only Apple folks that work for that. No, if you have an app, a game, or some kind of productivity software, you could create it and put it on the App Store. So again, these are ways for you to find your consumers. But beyond that, what else? Apple sells books. Apple's on television. Apple is actually competing with Walmart, with Amazon. They are out there with Apple TV. They have all these different products. And Apple has even gone into market with Apple Pay, where now they are dealing with transactions at a level where they control the percentage, right? They're not giving it away to some other bank. So Apple has all these different online services that you have to understand. How do you leverage it? How do you come closer and leverage what they have for your own products? And again, I'm telling you, if you write books, if you write music, and all these can be electronic products, right? And I want you to think with me here. Apple is giving you a platform as one of the largest ones to disseminate your music to the world, to disseminate your apps to the world, to disseminate your books to the world, your thoughts. You can be a thought leader with them. So while they have absolutely nurtured their fan base, what you have to take away from today is this. What can I learn from Apple? How is Apple different from the others? What is it that caused them to be the first company ever to hit $1 trillion market cap? That's something to really understand. Of the top four, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Apple is the first one to hit that $1 trillion mark, even though right now, as we speak, they are worth less than that right at this moment. But the key point, though, is the fact that they are giving consumers something they want. And when they come out with a product, they have a rabid fan base that, they're going for it. And so this this fan base, this avid fan base, they're always looking forward to more. So I want you to think today, how do I leverage this platform and how do I make sure I develop my own fan base with the consumers that are buying my stuff, with the clients that are coming to me, so that I can set myself apart from the rest. And of course, this is going to come down to segmentation and a whole lot more. Grab your copy of The Most Profitable Business Model Yet and see where you can leverage e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and other business models, and see which one I consider the most profitable today for you to start with if you're going out in the industry. So again, this is Pierre Laguerre, your daily motivator. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Have a great day.